Guys, what's going on, and welcome to another news video. If you're new to the channel, make sure you do subscribe to the channel. We have hit 650 subscribers, and now our goal is to get to 700 subscribers. So if you're new, please subscribe, and if you're here, like the video because it helps get it out to more people will come watch. And if you're new here, of course, as I already said, subscribe. Okay, we've got to start off today. We've got two news to talk about. We've got two different things to talk about. The first thing is, of course, Leeds United's #1 priority summer signing named as 49ers mean business. Okay, Daniel Farke will want a summer of hope for Leeds United fans as transfers are coming, transfer windows coming in, but will need to be looked at being sustainable in the Premier League. Money certainly won't be a problem for Leeds and the 49ers, as 100 million plus has been available to the Whites. So we're allowed to spend 100 million plus. This will need to be utilised effectively, and signings need to have a long-lasting impact in the squad. It's been made clear that 6 signings in the starting squad are needed, with Ellen Rose set to be a business destination this summer. Proceedings have already got underway, and one target has been mooted. Is looked at as the #1 priority. So we got our #1 priority according to this. Leeds United want Matteas Fernandez as #1 priority signing. The ambitions is there for all to see, and Parag is eager to achieve his pledge of being aggressive in the transfer window. Whether that will come to fruition will be discovered this summer. And if the board delivers, fans will give their full support. I mean, that's true. I mean, if we don't sign what we need, I think fans will start getting a bit angry or a bit anxious as it gets towards the end of the window if we don't sign what we need as early as possible, I'd say, because I could see us getting towards the end of the window and we're like, we don't have a striker, or we don't have a number 10, or something will be missing right near the end, and we'll be all very nervous that it won't be getting done and won't be able to get that signing over the line that we need. A brilliant season in the Championship has already grabbed their attention, and after Parag is aiming for Europe for Leeds United. So Parag basically wants European football with Leeds United, which is good. You want to make that step up slowly. It's a slow step, though. We got to remember that. I guess it's like a 5-year project to get there. We got to remember we can't just go straight there. You know, first season survival, second season survival, but a bit further up. Third season, I say mid-table. Fourth season, maybe a bit higher, upper end, mid-table, and then maybe the fifth season, sixth season, you start pushing for Europe, in my opinion. Or maybe we'll get there earlier, who knows? But that's kind of like what I want. I want to see the sustainability of the club in the Premier League to just keep getting closer and closer every season, basically. It only heightens their excitement for it. Well, now the Whites faithful will feel even more elevated by who the 49ers are looking to secure as a priority. Journalist Alan Nixon has stated that Farke's side has entered the race for Southampton midfielder Matteas Fernandez. Leeds are prepared to go close to the £30 million valuation that relegation Southampton want for the talented star, as they look to battle Crystal Palace this window. So Crystal Palace are also looking to sign Matteas Fernandez this summer. So it's basically a race between us two, it looks like. The Whites see the classy playmaker as a #1 priority and are keen to move quickly to secure his signing. Fernandez would be a statement from Leeds in the Premier League. The ongoing trend in the top flight is seeing newly promoted sides suffer relegation at the first time of asking in the Premier League. This happened embarrassingly for Southampton themselves, alongside with Ipswich and Leicester City this season. Farke will be hoping to avoid the same fate, and can do so with the signing of Fernandez, who looked the real deal despite being in a poor Saints side. He played 35 games. He got 2 goals and 3 assists this season. He created 31 chances. Yeah, he's got 2 goals and 3 assists, 31 created chances. He got 84.5% pass accuracy, and he's won 55 fouls. Like, you got to remember who he's playing for as well. He's playing for Southampton, who have got 12 points all season, who have only won 2 games all season and drawn 6. Like, he's not going to have amazing numbers, and you don't look at the numbers for a player like this. You don't look at numbers for a player where he's been absolutely in a terrible team, but his performances have been very, very good for a player. For a player in a team that's bottom of the league on, 12 points with only 2 wins all season. Like, you can see why. Troy Deeney picked Leeds to be relegated. Don't really give a shit about what he says. Troy Deeney, I don't really give a shit what Troy Deeney says, because everything he says is mostly a bunch of bullshit, to be honest. I don't really give a shit about what he says. But yeah, so Matteas Fernandez is who we are linked to, and it looks like he's our number one priority in, of course, the cam role, because I think he'll play the number 10 role for us. Because Brendan Aronson, I think, will be a good option off the bench. I've always said that next season, a good option off the bench in the Premier League, but not a starter. And he can't be a starter. But off the bench, hey, he's running off the bench and he's pressing off the bench. Could be very good for us this season. But yeah, we need a starter, and Matteas Fernandez just might be that. You know, he's played, he came over from Sporting this season. They just signed him in the 20, they just signed him from Sporting, Southampton. And if we can get him for 30 million, I would honestly take that. I think that's a good price for him because I think he's a really good player. He's played 43 games this season for both Sporting and Southampton with 3,316 minutes played, of course, with 3 goals, 5 assists. The season before that, in the 23-24 season, he played 31 games with 2,430 minutes played with 1 goal and 2 assists. And the season before, he only played 7 games in the 22-23 season with 334 minutes played and only 1 goal. So yeah, he's only started his career. He's only 20 years old, so he's a young player who has a lot of, he's promising. He's got a lot of promise in the Premier League and as a footballer, that this signing could be massive. Not just for us, of course, in the way of we're signing a good player that's young, but it's one of those where you sign a player this young that has this much talent, and either two things are going to happen. He's going to get too big. Well, the two things you hope would happen. Either he gets to the level where he's probably too big for the club, if you know what I mean, in a big 6 club or a top team around Europe that's playing in the Europa League or Champions League will come in for him for a lot of money. We can get a lot of money for him. Or he might be part of the reason why we push all the way to Europe. So you never know. They're the two things you're hoping for when you sign a young player with talent like he has. So yeah. We've got one more thing to talk about. Better signing than Vardy. Leeds make move for extraordinary £13 million centre forward. It seems like Leeds United will be looking for a new striker this summer. Their first back in the Premier League after a 2-season absence. There have already been strong links to 2 English top flight stalwarts. One of those is Callum Wilson, the Newcastle United striker who will leave on a free at the end of the season. The other is legendary striker Jamie Vardy, who will also depart the King Power at the end of the season, and we know that. But yeah, for my opinion on this, I don't think we'll sign either of them. I don't think we'll sign Callum Wilson, and I don't think we'll sign Jamie Vardy. Part of Leeds United's transfer policy at this stage of the summer, just days out from the transfer window opening, is clear: sign a striker. Well, perhaps their best option is actually a man whom they would have to buy rather than signing on a free transfer. The latest on Leeds United's hunt for a striker. Leeds clearly want a new centre forward in the coming weeks, and if a player on a free transfer is not the answer, perhaps Kasper Dolberg is the man they will look to bring in from Belgium's side, Anderlecht. So yeah, I've heard about Dolberg. He's a player that I've heard about. I've heard about Kasper Dolberg, and I think he's a really good he's a good striker. But he's in the Belgium league. He's in the Belgium league for Anderlecht, and you look at that and you go, will he be able to do it in the Premier League? But they're the risks you got to take when you get promoted. When you get promoted, you need to take these type of risks sometimes in signing players that you don't know if they can do it in the Premier League. But some of these positions we've got to take a risk on, and I think he's a good player. According to reports via website, oh my god, Volkswagen, the Whites hold a strong interest in signing Dolberg this summer. They are believed to have reported to Brussels for Dolberg, suggesting that they have made an approach for the Denmark international. If it is thought that Leeds see the Dane as the ideal reinforcement for the attack, and they seem like they'll really push to sign him this summer. However, the Yorkshire outfit be able to meet Anderlecht's demands, which was reportedly a fee of £13 million by Florian Plettenberg back in November 2024. So back in November 2024, it was reported that he'll be about £13 million. Why Dolberg would be a good signing for Leeds United? Well, he's a 27-year-old striker. Dolberg is about to enter his prime, having been something of a journeyman playing across Europe for the likes of Ajax and Seville. Now settled at Anderlecht, the Denmark international has had a strong season at Anderlecht. In 44 games across all competitions, the Ajax Academy graduate has managed to find the back of the net 24 times and grab 2 assists too. His season has been hampered somewhat by a couple of injury issues too. That's the worry about this season's been hampered with a couple of injury issues, because you look at the strikers we have now, and you got Joseph who's not good enough. You got Pirro, who I don't think can do it in the Premier League. You got Bamford, who's injury prone. In the Jupiler Pro League, the top flight in Belgium. It has been a very successful individual campaign for the striker. He has 14 goals and an assist in 22 games. So 14 goals and 1 assist in 22 games. Having played 1,685 minutes, that gives him an average of 112 minutes per goal and assist. The highlights of that was the hat trick against Brugge. Brugge, he scored a hat trick. It will be interesting to see who Leeds decide to try and sign. If it comes down to Dolberg or the highly experienced Jamie Vardy, the White's reported Target has now famously made 500 appearances for Leicester. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. We're not going to sign Jamie Vardy, in my opinion. I don't think Jamie Vardy should be the signing. But Dolberg is a player I'm looking at. You know, you're entering the prime of your career, normally around the 27, when you're 27. And if you look at the stats over his recent seasons, of course, you got this season, as we've already said, 39 games played, 2,736 minutes, 19 goals, 2 assists. The 23-24 season, he had 39 games played as well, with 2,951 minutes played, 15 goals, 4 assists. The season before that for Seville and Hoffenheim, he played for Seville and Hoffenheim, where he played 22 games, 730 minutes, 2 goals, 1 assist. Before then, he played in Ligue 1 for Nice, I think that is. And he played 30 games for 1,677 minutes for 7 goals, 2 assists. Then the 2020-21 season, he also played for Nice, where he played 27 games. No. Which one are we up to? 29 games for 2,200 minutes, 6 goals, 2 assists. The season before that, he played for Nice and Ajax. This is when he left Ajax to go to Nice, which was probably about, was that in the middle of the season? Was that in the... No, he only played 1 game in the Eredivisie. Okay. So basically, all that time was at Nice as well. 27 games played, 2,189 minutes, 12 goals, 3 assists. And then basically the 18-19 season at Ajax, he played 38 games with 1,908 minutes played with 12 goals, 2 assists. The season before that, he also had 28 games played, 1,598 minutes played, 9 goals, 2 assists. And then in the 16-17 season where it all started, 42 games, 3,091 minutes, 22 goals, 7 assists. So if you look at the minutes played over the course of all of his career, basically, he plays over 1,000 minutes per season. The lowest he's ever been at is besides one season where he played 730. But besides that season, the lowest he has played is 1,598 minutes. And you look at that, he's always seemed to play him. And he's had injuries this season, but he still played 2,700 minutes. So it's not been long injuries, but it's one of those, it's one of those things where he's entering his prime. Like 27 is normally around the prime age of your career, and he's looking like a good striker. This season, 19 goals, 2 assists. Season before, 15 goals, 4 assists. You look at that and you go, 2 good seasons in a row. You're starting to enter your prime. He's probably in his prime right now, based off the last 2 seasons. And yeah, as a striker, he would probably be a good option. Again, you got to hope he can adapt to the Premier League and how tough and demanding the Premier League can be at that level. But you got to take some risks with these kind of things about signing players that aren't from England or aren't from the Premier League, that you don't know if they can fully do it in the Premier League. But you got to take some of those risks. And this might be one that we just have to take. This is probably a risk that we're going to probably be a good idea to take, because I think Dolberg's a very good striker. Of course, we are competing with Crystal Palace to sign him. As it says, only Crystal Palace. There might be more clubs, but at the moment it's only Crystal Palace. He'd be a very good signing, a very good striker, in my opinion. Now, it's, of course, it's the adaptability, as I've already said, to the Premier League. But yeah, I think he could do it, and I think it would be a good signing. I think it would be one of those signings that you go, yeah, a goal scorer. A goal scorer that can do a lot. So hopefully, even if we don't sign him, hopefully we do sign a good striker, because as I said, we really need that striker, that starting number 9 for the Premier League. Otherwise, I think we're in a lot of trouble with goals, especially up front. So yeah, if you like the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about Dolberg, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.